Oh, Dios mío, I am here on time and everything is working. The microphone is fine, the camera is on. What is happening? Have I turned a new page in content creation? Am I a new man now? Am I shaping up to be a better person? Hello, chat. How are you? You doing fine? Apparently Goku is upset. I don't know why Goku is upset. But I do have to say, I find it wholesome that mortal busybodies are being gatekept now, especially on Twitter. And the system allows for people to have their BS called out by the general public. I don't know if this is going to lead to anything, but if it keeps up for a couple more years, we may actually see a change in the culture. I mean, just so you can understand what the culture is right now, let me see if I can find the thing. There's this new game, Spider-Man 2. I refused to buy it the moment I saw it. I have to say, like, Spider-Man 1 was pretty cringe. Okay, so the first Spider-Man that came out, I'm talking about, like, from this particular studio. Did you guys play it? If you didn't, it's okay. It wasn't like really that bad, but I'll describe it like this. It was entertaining in the beginning, but then it got really boring and stale. Like the game only maintained its interest while you really didn't know like what's going on. But like once you unlock most of the things, the game became so repetitive that it was boring. And not only that, it had a couple of moments where you really realize that the writers were woke as fuck. Like for instance, there were a private police force that was invited in town in order to keep the peace. And Spider-Man was like, "Oh, I'm going to show these fascists," and it's like, what exactly is fascist about them? There's nothing fascist about, and they were like comic book ridiculous, but I guess like it makes sense because it's a comic book. Like they were rounding citizens up and asking for papers, and that was like way over the line. And I'm thinking like, okay, but we are during the pandemic. I am being asked for papers to sit at a fucking McDonald's. Like this is the new normal, they called it. And it was implemented by progressives, by Democrats, by people that advocate for social justice, for climate justice, right? And all of a sudden you're telling me that these people are fascist? I mean, that's an interesting thing. But look at what they're doing now. So first of all, the main issue that you can point out with this game, I've been told that you can finish it in 10 hours, and it's like 10 hours of gameplay and 10 hours of cutscenes. So when I hear that a game is like 10 hours of cutscenes, especially a game like Spider-Man, so not a Telltale game, like tells you all you need to know, but many side quests apparently are like this, where you get to play as a deaf black woman, and the game removes the sound as you spray graffiti on the walls. And I'm thinking, like, what does this add, though? Like, unironically, you know, if you're a gamer, how is this entertaining? You're playing Spider-Man, right? Like, what exactly is this supposed to add? What is... Right? Like the only thing that I guess we know is that the developers cared so much to include this into their game and they thought it's very important. But and it's like, well, it's to raise awareness of people that have disabilities, and it's like you don't need to raise awareness. Like I know that deaf people exist. I actually know some in real life. Why are you glorifying it though? Like they, if given the chance, would prefer that they're not deaf. Like this is not something that they would consider as shaping their life. Like they would not say that this is what defines them, the fact that they are deaf. It is so bizarre, right? Like what exactly are you accomplishing? And I think like what they are accomplishing is this form of narcissism, where I think it's called overt narcissism, where you're basically like, oh, look how much I care about this issue, but I'm not going to actually do anything to help the people in this issue. I'm just going to tell you that I care. It's kind of like that. She's fighting the power. And that's another thing, you know, like, does the power actually need to be fought? Like who is she fighting? Is she fighting Joe Biden? Is she going to join the January 6th protesters? Like, when you fight the power, apparently it's not good, so... what is she going to do, huh? Like, what power is she fighting? I wouldn't be surprised if there is a side quest where you scroll through a civil rights museum. No, because, like, the civil rights museum is bigoted now, right? Like, judging people based by the content of their character, that's racist. You would have to go through, like, an environmentalist museum, Black History Month museum, something with the Holocaust, right? And of course, like, the character would not be able to do anything besides be respectful. Good afternoon, V. I hope you had a good conversation with the communist today. Wow, with Short Fat Otaku? No, today I did not, because Arch had his Archcast yesterday. However, I will be playing Dungeons and Dragons with the communist, and with Rags, and with Sargon, and with Arch. And I think, like, the first session is on January. So we'll see that. It's not going to be Crusaders. There's going to be a different D&D. I will play a Wizard or a Sorcerer. Haven't decided. I think Dev is going to be a Rogue. Arch is going to be a Cleric. And Rags is not decided. They don't want to risk what happened with Fortnite. Right. So, like, in Fortnite, they decided, in their infinite wisdom, that it would be a good idea to have black activists talk to the players. And the players, which happened to be young adults, were throwing tomatoes at the billboard where the activists were speaking from. Now, the main problem is that the greatest weapon that the woke have isn't persuading people or convincing individuals. It is canceling people, right? Like, persecuting them and getting them fired. But unfortunately, it turns out that if it's a 9-year-old that does it, he doesn't have a job, so you can't get him fired. So they were in a little bit of a pickle. It's like, okay, but this 9-year-old is disrespecting the Saints. Like, what can we do against him? Nothing. So what they did is they added more stuff to Fortnite. Apparently, they added the Holocaust Museum. I'm not kidding. Like, and you go in there, and while you're in the museum, you can't do anything. Like, you're forced to be respectful. You can't do any emotes. You can't write anything, right? So that's what they did. I think it's called a look through history, or a march through history, or something like that. Again, we're talking about a video game where you can play as the alien, and you can fire at, Iron Man, right? So, like, you have someone dressed as the alien, another person dressed as Iron Man, going to the Holocaust Museum. Does that make any sense? Does it need to? No. Well, it is Fortnite, so... You can't do teabags? Really? Did they disable the crouch? I don't know if you can... Like, obviously you can't fire while in the museum. Oh, hold on. Let me see the thing. So, Fortnite... Oh, it's got a Wikipedia page. Yeah. It's good shit. So, Fortnite, the Holocaust Museum, also known as Voices of the Forgotten. How are they forgotten, though? Like, I talked about them in school. There's a lot of movies and cultural references. There's a museum. They're in Fortnite. No, unironically, like, it's a legit question. Like, it should be like Voices of the Remembered. Huh? But anyway, so the video game Fortnite creative Luke Bernard approved the publisher Epic Games, and it became available in 2023. The museum features photographs and plaques highlighting people who resisted the Nazis and show visitors examples of Nazi atrocities, such as the Kristallnacht. One of them in the museum features a hall of historical figures featuring people such as Marine Khan and Abdol Hussein Sardari. So on August 3, the Jewish Chronicle uploaded a trailer for the Fortnite Holocaust Museum showing the display Right. So the response is that some critics who have highlighted issues with Fortnite's virtual Martin Luther King. Like, what do you mean who? I did it. I did it. I don't think like a video game should treat this type of subject material. I genuinely don't. I do not think that a video game where a person can dress as the alien and teabag Iron Man, I do not think that this video game should be the one hosting this type of material and this type of content. Yeah, I'm a critic. I'm a bigot. You can't change my mind. Like, I'm not even like Steven Crowder. It's like, change my mind. No. No, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like, this type of subject matter does not belong in Fortnite. Absolutely not. No. So in response to concern about vandalism of the memorial, again, vandalism of the memorial, it's a video game. It's not real life. This is why it doesn't belong there. It's the cyberspace. So Bernard said that many of the game's features would be disabled, arguing that this would make the Fortnite Holocaust Museum better protected than the real-world monument. See? This is the narcissism that we're talking about. Like, he legitimately believes that his game is now better than the real-world monument. The Christian Science Monitor commented on the choice of Fortnite as a venue for the Holocaust Museum is not an obvious location for a museum about genocide. The popular Battle Royale game is best known for its extensive suite of goofy, gesticulating characters. It's a place where you can find Batman duking it out with a sentient banana peel, and then swinging his arms in a viral victory dance known as the Gritty. It turns out that I do agree with the Christian Science Monitor. Like, I genuinely never read this publication. I do not know what they are, but like, for some goddamn reason, I from Romania, without reading them, have reached the exact same opinion. So, the release of the Fortnite Holocaust Museum was delayed following concerns of vandalism by neo-Nazi internet trolls, particularly after comments from Nick Fuentes. Okay. I mean, look, if you manage to get Nick Fuentes to shut the fuck... If you manage to get Nick Fuentes to shut the fuck up and play Fortnite instead, I would call that a win. I mean, they could have done something for humanity, but instead they chosen not to. Alright. No, I mean, seriously, like what is more desirable? To have Nick Fuentes talk about the Jews, or to have Nick Fuentes play Fortnite? I mean... I'm just saying. No, the Almanac just took the number before you were. Okay, Voice of the Remembered. Damn, beat me too, Mr. V. Exactly. Voices of the Remembered is way better. Yeah, I know. I mean, it only took me like a couple of seconds. Imagine the magic that I could do if Hollywood would hire me as a writer. Right, so, what do you think, like, Nick plays in Fortnite? Huh? Like, is it like the default skin, or no? I don't think it would be the default skin. He would probably have like something custom made, wouldn't he? Alright, so let's talk about SSniperWolf. SSniperWolf, where is SSniperWolf? Everyone talks about her now. I'm actually curious if she got... Hold on. I'm curious if she got any new subscribers from the controversy. Oh shit, no, she lost. Holy shit, look how bad... Okay, so... This is not good, chat. This was... 34 million subscribers. That's a lot. Okay. She lost 100,000. Again, like, none of this would have happened if YouTube just did the thing. I posted on my other channel. Haven't uploaded the video yet. So, basically, she doxed the guy. Alright? Now, if YouTube would have done the thing, which is literally, like, holding her to the same standard as everybody else. Now, if you were to dox someone, and again, like, the rules are very gray, like, when I criticize people on Twitter and I bring them on my channel, I have to make sure that I censor their names, because some people use that as a definition of doxing, even though like Twitter is a public platform, even though that people, you know, like post stuff out of their own volition. I have even heard that Libs of TikTok is doing doxing because she's like posting TikTok videos on Twitter. So anyway, because I do not know what is and isn't doxing, I just err on the side of caution. So every single time I talk about people on Twitter, and I'm not the only one. But other people seem to be able to go to another creator's house and nothing happens. Now, if YouTube were to apply the rules, the thing that would have happened is she gets a community guideline strike. Because she doesn't have any others, it's just a warning on her channel. Doesn't affect her streaming, doesn't affect anything. And if she follows through with the training course, yeah, YouTube has a training course where they basically like ask you a couple of questions, like, do you understand why doxing is bad? And you're like, yes. In the follow-us scenario, is this doxing? And you're like, yes or no, right? And you have to answer like all the questions correctly. And after doing the training course, you're good to go. And in 3 months, that warning is removed. So literally, like, that would have been a least severe punishment than this. Like if she got demonetized. Now, some people say that she has, other people say that she didn't. But if she was to be given that punishment, she wouldn't have lost anything, except maybe prestige and reputation. But with this punishment, not only, like, is it antagonizing people, but what's even worse is that she's losing a lot of money, because when you have a channel of 34 million views, 34 million subscribers, and she's making like, holy shit, she's getting like 152 million views. Oh, USB, like this is in the tens, if not the hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Like this is how much it hurts her, right? So like this punishment is a lot more cruel than if YouTube would have just applied their TOS. She's got like 100,000 people leaving, which, by the way, is not a lot. Again, like, she's got 34 million, right? Like, this is not that much, right? And these are like the people that are like, okay, well, fuck it, time out. But what's interesting is that she's deleting videos, right? So, like, she's going back and she's deleting videos that are probably problematic because people are going through her video library and they're finding stuff like where she was telling minors that if they twerk for her, she will flash. Right, she'll flash booba, and that's not very community friendly. That's not very 2023. Like back when she made the video, the internet was more edgy, it was more exciting, more fresh, and a lot of things were allowed. But right now, not so much. So she's now going back in time, removing all of the evidence. She's into delete everything mode. And yeah, like the word temporary demonetization is also very interesting, because there was another case. They didn't they didn't hit her for the doxing. Like that's also interesting. It's related to the doxing, but what YouTube claims they've done is that they hit her for creating problems, basically, like hurting the YouTube ecosystem. Now hurting the YouTube ecosystem is one of the biggest bullshit TOS that they have, because it's so unclear, and it could be literally everything, right? Like it's not like a firm rule. No government would ever pass a law like that because it would be cruel and unjust, right? And it allows the company to make unilateral decisions. But Russell Brand is a perfect example, right? So Russell Brand got hit with the same thing that SSSniperWolf got. And it basically states that because Russell Brand was being accused, right? And the BBC, I think, was the one that contacted YouTube. Due to that, they decided to demonetize him. Now, take into account that Russell Brand didn't get demonetized for a little bit. No. Russell Brand is getting demonetized for potentially ever. Like, there is no way. I don't think that he's going to get his monetization back. Like, even if he is taken to court and he is found not guilty, it's very unlikely that he will be remonetized, right? So this is why people are a little bit upset. And again, like, the rule is so ridiculous because Russell Brand did not violate any TOS on the platform, as far as I know, right? Like, he didn't get a single community guideline strike. It was just the fact that he got accused, right? So the accusations were levied against him, and it was like a couple of days after the accusations were levied against him that he got demonetized forever. So what can you do? Not Sniper Wolf? Well, it's so interesting as well. It's like, dude, if you're Sniper Wolf, like, your life must be so fucking boring. Like you're already at the top of success, right? Like, you climb that ladder. There's not much more that can be done. So when you have, like, people criticizing you, and they're criticizing you because you're a celebrity, basically. I mean, celebrity gossip has and will be a thing before I was born and after I die. Like, this is not going to change. People enjoy hearing gossip about celebrities, women especially, but also men. And, yeah, like, people were criticizing her, and her reaction to the criticism wasn't very good. I mean, you don't go to the person's house. I know it's uncomfortable, by the way. Like, getting criticized, no one likes it. I don't like it. However, and by the way, like, YouTube's rules are even worse. The Quartering was complaining about this. So YouTube bans harassment and bullying, right? And what is harassment and bullying? Because, again, like, the rules are very gray. So harassment and bullying, is it criticism? And apparently it can be. Right, so here's how it works. If you have someone like the Quartering, and he gets criticized by a small channel. Like, let's say I'm criticizing the Quartering. I can do it. Like, that's fine. But if he makes a video about me, like, he makes a video response to me, and then I complain, that is harassment and bullying. Why? Because he's got, like, 2 million subscribers. So because he's got, like, this massive audience, if he makes a video response to someone that criticized him, it can be harassment and bullying. This is what a YouTube manager told him, allegedly. Like, I can't verify it, but this is what he said on air. It's like, the connections at YouTube told him that he is not allowed to respond to channels that are smaller than him, because that can be constituted as right. But, like, Sniper Wolf gets to do it, right? Like, she gives no fucks. Like, she can criticize whomever criticizes her. And by the way, like, I do think, like, that is fair. Like, first of all, one of the main reasons I liked YouTube back in the day was due to the whole Venom Fang X and Thunderfoot drama. Like it was really cool to see all the video responses, and you have, like, the bedroom feminists and stuff. It was really cool, right? However, when they inserted the TOS, and I think, like, they put this TOS when it was with Ethan Klein and Keemstar. Like, they were going at it, and the advertisers were involved, and YouTube didn't like it. But that's when the shitty rule with please no bully came. And, like, again, like, bullying means, like, making video responses, right? Like, we're not talking about, although, like, if you go after a person's advertisers and you encourage that, like, okay, fine. But still, I would rather that rule didn't exist, so that Sniper Wolf can respond to everyone, and everyone can criticize Sniper Wolf. But like, you don't get that privilege anymore. If they say everyone is equal, how can they actually be punching up or down? That is such an interesting observation. No, well, actually, they don't say everyone is equal, right? They say that they want a world where everyone is equal, but we're not equal. And it's not racial, it's social, right? So they say that due to the social constructs that we live in, people aren't equal, right? So you can punch down and rather than punch up. Hey, when it makes sense, it makes sense. There are a lot of plot holes in this ideology, but some of them aren't plot holes, and they can be explained away, so. If everyone is equal, no one is. No, actually, if everyone is equal, then everyone is equal. But like, the main problem with equality, like, think about it this way. If you have, like, one person and everyone else is a slave, that is a far more equal system than the one we live in. Unironically, like, think about it. A prison in the social justice mindset is more equal than a free society. Because, yeah, you have, like, the wardens, but there are a couple of them, right? And everyone else is a prisoner, and everyone else is equal. They get the same stuff, they get the same clothes, the same treatment, the same, right? So theoretically, like, a prison is a more equal society than... And what's interesting, I think, like, Milton Friedman actually pointed this out, that in a controlled system, there is more injustice and inequality than anywhere else around the world. And he talked about prisons and the Soviet Union. Like, all of the things that communists were complaining about America were far more exacerbated in the Soviet Union than they were in America. And they were also more exacerbated in prisons. Right, so, let's see. Oh, here we go. The Forbes magazine is talking about it. Forbes magazine! Can you imagine, like, being in Forbes magazine? YouTube temporarily demonetizes SSSniperWolf after doxing controversy. Gaming and reaction content creator. Oh my god, this is when you know that you pissed off the journals. Like, this is when you know you done fucked up, when they power word real name you. Like, what? Why do I even care that her name is Alia Shilish? This is irrelevant, but like, every single time the journalists do it. Did you notice this? It's like, real name. Known as SSSniperWolf had her YouTube channel temporarily demonetized Friday after she feuded with and allegedly doxed. Why is it like allegedly though? I guess like maybe the definition of doxing, which again, like, it's something that many people don't agree with, but like going to someone's house on a live stream where you have like tens of millions of fans, I think that constitutes as doxing, yes. Like why else would you do it? Like, you're not doing it in order to have a pleasant conversation with the man, right? Like, obviously, like, she... And we know this. We know this because it's probably some of the videos that she deleted. Like, people went into her video library and found out that she didn't like it when fans were stalking her. And obviously, like, she wouldn't like it if a fan appeared at her house. But in fact, like, this conversation existed way before the SSSniperWolf. Like, it existed when content creators were pointing out, it's like, oh my god, this fan showed up at my house, and they were really upset, and they were saying, like, this is not cool, this is unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. Right? I mean, it is. It's not, I mean, like, some content creators don't react like that. There was a content creator on Twitch. There was a mother with the daughter, right? I don't know the name of the content creator. Doesn't fucking matter. Like, a mother with a daughter rings at his door. And he answers. And, you know, he's like, oh, I'm streaming right now. Can you wait a little bit? And then he comes like 30 minutes later and takes pictures with the daughter and shit. But, like, not everyone is like that. Like, let me put it this way, alright? Like, if it wasn't for the TOS and everything like that, going to another person's house and simply knocking, right? That is not a crime, obviously. But there are other questions involved, right? Like, for instance, why do you do it? Like, if you have, like, millions of fans, and we live in the age of swatting, and we live in the age of, like, deranged parasocial behavior, there's only one reason why you do it, right? Like, the implication behind the thing. So it's really socially unacceptable, right? Like, even if it were to be legal, most people view it as socially unacceptable. So like, for instance, my house, right? Like I wouldn't appreciate if you guys came up to my house, even though I like you very much. I love most of you. Some of you I don't know, but like the others I love. I wouldn't appreciate, like, you guys wouldn't appreciate, right? Because, like, your house is considered private, and it's like my me time. Like, why? Even actors probably don't like it. So, YouTube confirmed the temporary suspension in a post on X, which got community notes. Douglas, who produced parody videos, has clashed with SSSniperWolf online before and accused her of filming and posting a live video of his and his wife on Instagram when they were inside, an action he considered a clear example of doxing. It is. She apologized to Douglas, also known as Jack Phil, saying in a post that she deserved to be temporarily demonetized and calling her actions inexcusable. Wait. Like, I didn't know about this. So like, she's the one that asks YouTube to punish her. That is fucking fascinating. That is, wow. It reminds me of another case. I think it was like Alinity. Yeah, so like Alinity made a video in which she quote-unquote accidentally shows either a clam or a nipple. I forgot which was it. But basically, you know, people are outraged and she doesn't get banned on Twitch. And eventually, like, she is the one that asks the moderators, like, okay, you can ban me, you can suspend me for a little while. And she takes a vacation and then comes back. Right? I mean, come the fuck on. It is so, ugh. Several YouTubers criticized YouTube for saying that the behavior on both sides isn't what it wanted on the platform, with many arguing that the punishment wasn't enough. Douglas did not immediately respond to Ford's request for a comment. Like, well, what else? What is there to say? Like, Odyssey, what can she possibly add that would change viewers' perspective on the issue? Crucial quote: Jack films, while we certainly don't see eye to eye and have our differences, I am sorry for reacting the way I did, when I should have taken the opportunity to show young creators how adults and professionals resolve the conflict by communicating directly, respectfully, and privately. Not for views or content, but a meaningful example of how conflict should be solved. Yeah. The thing is, like, people aren't even interested in an apology, because, like, of course, you know, like, maybe I don't care. The people care about YouTube. That's what they care about. It's like, why is this platform not applying the rules equally? Especially when the actual rules would have been less harsh than demonetization. Douglas and SSSniperWolf have been mainstays on YouTube for more than a decade, and they have nearly 40 million subscribers across their main channels. The two YouTubers feuded online in late June, blasting each other's content, and Douglas' doxing accusations came after she allegedly posted a since-deleted photo of Douglas' house along a caption that read, "Let's talk like adults." My fucking god, like, oh god. Like, let's talk like adults. This is like what a man says, you know? Like when a man goes to another person that insulted his honor or insulted his milady, it's like, let's step outside. She said in an Instagram post that Douglas was defaming her with the doxing accusations, claiming that he posted his address on Google. If that's not doxing, why did you delete it? God. What a clusterfuck. Parking fee from Robert. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, like, showing the guy's address is the problem. And again, we do... Like, how many times did Tim Pool got doxed? Like, we can't pretend that, like, showing someone's address on the internet isn't a bad thing to do. V is the leader of the Coomer Legion, allegedly. Why would anyone come to your shack? Fortune reading, probably. V, the only reason I would come to your house is to build a gazebo in the backyard and pet your cats. Oh, that is actually very sweet. My cats are a little bit skittish, so you may not be able to pet them. But I would be very grateful if someone did build a gazebo. You know, like, if I had built a gazebo back then, it would have been half cheaper, because now with the inflation and with the whole conflict in Ukraine, building materials as well as builders have upped in cost. Apparently, a neighbor built a gazebo recently, $5,000, and it looks like a meh gazebo. It's not like really good, but it's like $5,000, and I'm like, holy shit, isn't this a lot? And then I looked at the price range, and I checked the market, and no, it's like $4,000 to $5,000. That's how much a gazebo of that size costs. And by that size, I don't mean like a huge gazebo. It's literally like the size of I would say the same types you find in parks. You guys want me to tell you, like, furry drama? Furry drama is very interesting. Back when I was a furry, so back when I was a furry, we didn't really have, like, all these terms of service. We didn't have, like, the plump HR lady that was monitoring the internet, and people would police each other. Like, if you did something which was considered socially unacceptable, then the rest of the community would punish you. So there was, like, this individual, this furry, which I remember I was friends with. I was friends with this furry. But he got into a drama, as furries usually do. I think, like, he wanted to be the online boyfriend of another furry. Yes, this is what happened, right? So, like, he was the online boyfriend of another furry, and he found that his online boyfriend was cheating on him with another online furry. Did you guys understand? So, like, furry A was in a progressive relationship with Furry B, but it was only online. Like, they weren't interacting in real life in any way, shape, or form. So what happens is he finds out that the other guy is cheating on him. So what he does is that he sends all the YIF logs, like he prints the YIF logs. This was I think like back in 2005, way long ago. He prints the YIF logs, puts them in an envelope, and sends it to that other person's father. That was considered not cool in the furry fandom. That was considered unacceptable behavior. Now, there were no TOS. What he did wasn't illegal. But the furry community, at least the circle of friends, we did not appreciate that very much. Turns out that no one wanted to associate with him, and people that would associate with him would become pariahs like him. So, yeah. My point is that is how the internet would regulate itself. Like there were certain rules that like, no one would tell you that sending someone's YIF logs to their father is going to be a violation. However, it was called common fucking sense. Like usually it was, if you do not like it done to you, then don't fucking do it to others, right? So and it was like from 1 to 10 scale. Or like, how would you like it if everybody did it, right? Like, how would you like it if everybody sent YIF logs to the father? See, my father never got YIF logs. Is Russia just a land grab? They don't wish death. Wait, I do not understand the question. Is Russia just a land grab? Like what do you mean? Like the thing in Ukraine? They don't wish death. I mean, the thing with Russia, they want to govern Ukraine. I noticed like this very bizarre lack of understanding in like certain right-wing and left-wing circles. They will say, well, Russia isn't like bombing Ukraine the way they would have. Like, they're not glassing it. They could glass it if they want to. I think like Coach Red Pill was saying this. And every single time you have a war, there are certain victory objectives. Like not all wars are like in Civilization. You played that game, you know, like Civ. Not all wars are like in Civ, where you need to just kill the enemy units to win. Certain wars, for example, one country wants to govern over another. And if you want to govern over another country, you don't want to govern over the ashes. You want the country to still have the infrastructure, you want the country to still have the industry, right? So this is why like Russia isn't just shelling Ukraine the way that like some right-wingers would have expected. But like, for instance, if Russia were to declare war on Romania, they would definitely like do their best in order to do as much damage as humanly possible. Like, for example, when the Germans went into Stalingrad, like, they didn't give a fuck. Like they weren't trying to govern that country. So it's like, yeah, capture the flag mode? No, it's... I mean, there's like different reasons why you can have wars. Some wars are just for resources. So like, you will see that the invading army just, you know, goes like, let's say the oil fields, right? So they will just like have like a strong presence on the oil field, and they don't care about anything else. Or the China does this. Like, China isn't actually interested in conquering nations. Their behavior is very similar to what the Portuguese Empire did. Like, usually China, and they're not even like using violence or anything. They will say that, okay, so there's like a starving nation in Africa. And they will say, all right, well, we're going to give you this huge loan, right? And the nation from Africa, most of the time, is going to be unable to pay the loan back. So China goes like, okay, well, it's no problem. You don't have to pay us back the loan. We'll forgive the debt, but we want your port city for the next 90 years. So once they take the port city, they move in troops over there. They secure the port area, and then they put taxes and tariffs. And they do this like with important ports throughout the world and then like key places. And that's how they have their empire. It's an economic empire. They don't need the land. They don't need the land grab. Like, as long as they have the port, that means that everything that goes through that port can be tariffed and taxed. And the money goes back to China. They can put trade embargoes. They can decide, okay, well, we're not going to allow you to have, like, COVID masks be sent to America. We're going to send them to China. That's the way they're doing it. So, yeah. China did learn from history and simply do things that we Europeans did to them. China actually has like, what is it? The century of humiliation, they call it. Like, the interesting history of China is that it was the Middle Kingdom. Like, it considered itself to be one of the most important places on Earth, the cradle of human civilization. And it's not entirely wrong. I mean, if you were to be reborn, let's say, in history, like right now, you are to be isekai'd into medieval time. Which nation do you want to pick? You're a peasant. Honestly, being in China is not really that bad compared to other places. So, China was definitely a very influential player. And I think, like, when the Brits go into China, and most of the time they would trade, like, Chinese porcelain and Chinese stuff for gold. Like, that was their motto, right? So when the Brits go to China, the English, the British Empire, it goes to China, they actually responded to them in Latin. Like, they even didn't know how to communicate because, like, they didn't have, like, any relationships with that part of Europe. And the last time they talked was in Latin. And the Brits wanted to trade for random stuff, and China was like, no, you're going to trade just for porcelain. That's why it's called China, because it was made there. So what followed was the century of humiliation. Like, the Brits ended their empire. Their technology was so advanced that the Chinese didn't know what to do, so... That is wrong? Which part? How are gun laws in Romania? So in Romania, has like some of the most restricted gun laws in the entire world, I believe. The issue isn't necessarily like the control isn't necessarily on guns, but the ammunition is controlled heavily. So anything that's required to make ammo is very strictly controlled here. And most people are afraid of guns because they never see one in their entire life. So if I were to see an American with a Glock and he puts the Glock on the table, that Glock has an aura of dread for me. It's but slowly there have been pushes to make people more accustomed to a Second Amendment, and that would definitely be a good thing, I believe. And the push is pretty much like right now, the pro-gun activists, they want to allow certain groups of people to have access to weapons, right? So like, currently, if you want a gun, you gotta have like specific professions. So you can be a police officer, a prosecutor, a judge. And they want to make it so that forest rangers, like people who are in the woods, you know, like guarding the woods to make sure that there's no like illegal poachers or illegal woodcutters, like they should have guns. Truck drivers should have guns. So the idea is to like slowly allow more and more professions to have access to weapons, to normalize the concept of weapons before you can even talk about the Second Amendment. You can have the dick, but not the sperm. That's clever, yeah. Still, it's a growing trend, unfortunately, I would say, because it's a growing trend amongst criminals. Like, more and more criminals do have access to weapons because there's a lot more shootings. When I was in the hospital and I was working there, we never saw a gunshot in over 6 years that I was there. Like, there was never such a case. But I hear that now there have started to be several cases of gunshots. So, Do you guys have to worry about things like wolves there? Yeah, people have adapted, like the shepherds. They have their own dogs. Like a shepherd dog in the Romanian mountains is almost as big as a horse. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Those things are huge. The shepherd himself has like a big stick. And they make do. And they also have a telephone. So like one shepherd can summon more. Like the telephone has the ability to summon shepherds. And so far there hasn't been a problem. I think like certain people in the mountains, like they may have like the ability to have a hunting rifle or something. But no, we do not have sniper wolves. The forest rangers did get to shoot and kill the wood poachers, so that sounds like a need. No, like they usually get attacked, right? Like the Netflix documentary team came to Romania to talk about the illegal deforestation of forests, and they got attacked, so... Only 3 countries in the world protect the right to bear arms in their constitution: US, Mexico, and Guatemala. I think like there's a neighboring country which also allows Second Amendment. But yeah, like most countries don't really have it in their constitution. The dumbest thing that I have ever heard in my entire fucking life is that in Britain, and I don't know if this is true or not, like I've been told, so it was from a source that I tend to believe that what they are saying is true. So in the United Kingdom, this is hilarious. If you have like a normal police officer and he manages to see a crime in progress, like let's say a stabbing or some shit, he doesn't have a gun. He has to call in the station to ask for another police officer to come in and bring the gun. I remember like that was also in the very bad TV show that I would not recommend to people, Watchmen. Like it had that in Watchmen as well. The police officer like had to radio into the station, and the person at the station pressed the button to open a compartment in their car where the gun was in. They do have cops with guns, but most of them don't. Yeah, it's just... Like, I would understand if the country was peaceful, right? Like, so like in Romania, a lot of cops do not have guns, but the country is peaceful. Like, a lot of people say, oh, so like you have like female police officers, like what do they do? And yeah, like one of them got tested. Basically, there was like a tough guy, which decided to... fight the female police officer, and he won. I mean, it wasn't the problem. The issue is that after he won, he wanted to go home, I assume, but he was intercepted by the masked ones. So the masked ones in Romania, I'll show you a picture of them. The masked ones look like this. And the best ones do not fuck around. They tell you to get down. If you did not get down, then I don't think you really have much of a choice. Like first they ask, then they don't. They also have like the beating sticks. It's how we call them. The beating sticks are not made of rubber. Like normal police officers have beating sticks of rubber. Those leave bruises. No, these guys have their beating sticks made of steel. They break bones. So yeah, like if you think that, oh well, this is a ushi-kushi female police officer, oh I can take, yeah, you can take her, yeah, probably. But not only that, you summon the masked ones, and then when you go to court, you probably have like another 5 or 10 years for various crimes. Like here in Romania, it's illegal to insult a cop, for instance. In the United States, it's not, but in Romania, it is. No, you have to respect the cop. And by respect, it doesn't mean worship the cop. It means you need to talk with him like Mr. Police Officer. You need to do what he asks. And if you think that he asked for something unreasonable, you then sue him. Like he's got a body cam. Right? If you claim that the police officer did something illegal or unreasonable, you then sue his ass. There have been cases where like, especially during the pandemic. Like during the pandemic, a lot of cops have given fines to people. It turns out that the law, the legislation, was unconstitutional. So now the cops that got sued have to pay from their salary. Not an easy job being a cop. Yeah. I have a collection of those, and tonfa is something different. V means extendable batons. By the way, the extendable batons, the telescopic ones, I think it were called, they got banned. They broke easily. Like you could break bows with them, but then they broke as well, and they wouldn't collapse properly, so they got taken out of duty. Legally enforced politeness. It's kind of like this, okay? Like, no. It's not legally enforced politeness. I think I explained it wrong. You don't have to say, like, Mr. Police Officer or anything like that. You just need to not curse at them. If that makes any sense. Like, you're not supposed to tell them to suck cock, like, show them the middle finger, that type of thing. But other than that, like, yeah. But again, like, I think this legislation is actually to protect the criminal more. Because I've seen a lot of cases in the United States where the person would have still been alive had they just complied. I mean, recently there was this individual that was going 100 per hour and he got stopped by a cop. And apparently that is an arrestable offense. And many individuals just don't understand, like, why is going with 100 per hour an arrestable offense? And I'm like, I don't know, like, maybe the street isn't built for that dumbass. Like, maybe if some idiot goes with 100 miles per hour and he manages to get, like, a cat or a dog jumping in front and he just makes a little bit like this on the wheel, it flips the car over. It can go into someone else. It can kill somebody, right? Like, we do empathize with the reason we have that rule. Jesus. But anyway, right, no, unironically, like, according to the left, there should be almost no crimes whatsoever. The only crimes is spraying graffiti on a wall, that's hateful, keyboard warrior crimes, like, if you use, like, homophobismus on the keyboard, that should get you arrested, and what else? You know, like, a couple, like, 2 or more, like, hate crimes, those are bad. But other than that, like, literally, no, everything short of murder, even driving under the influence with 100 miles per hour, that's fine. So anyway, this guy gets stopped, doesn't comply, sasses the police officer. Okay. The police officer tells him he's under arrest. He attacks the police officer. The police officer tases him. The guy starts choking the police officer. At this point, the police officer shoots him. Oh my god, left-leaning people were horrified. And I'm like, you are choking a police officer. Like, what more do you want the guy to do? Why did I stop using the book format? I wasn't really happy with it. Cops don't deserve respect from the summer. Yeah, but like, we're talking about a different country. I'm not saying that the cop deserves respect. You respect the uniform, not the man. You respect the uniform. A person that doesn't respect the uniform probably doesn't respect you as well, by the way. No, unironically, like, a person that doesn't respect, like even when a police officer is there, he still behaves in a criminal manner. Imagine if it's just you talking to that guy. Hello, Drakai. You're a little bit late. Europe poor nation regulations are far more See, the thing that you call Europe poor, the question is, like, how many more years of Bidenomics is it going to take until it's going to become Euro rich? Then again, like, it depends which country from Europe and which state from the United States. I do think Romania is a lot more wealthy than Detroit, unironically. I would have to look it up, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think Romania is definitely better than Detroit. And it also, like, depends the wealth disparity, right? Like, California is rich, but it's also home to some of the largest homeless population on Earth, so. You can respect both. You can expect him to be good to you, you do the same. By the way, here's another thing, and I'll tell you this, why you should respect cops. One when the cop gives you a fine or a sanction or anything, they are allowed by the lawmaker to give you, like, for example, a warning or a fine. Or if they give you a fine, they're allowed to give you anywhere between like $200 to $2,000, right? Obviously, it's subjective. And the way you behave to the cop is going to decide how much of a fine you get. Most police officers, at least the ones from Romania, I don't know how it's like in the US, but most police officers want to see that you understand that what you did was putting the public in danger, and that you're remorseful so you don't do it again, right? Like, for example, if you're driving with 100 miles per hour on a street, they want to see that you understand that what you are doing is dangerous. It's kind of funny because we have leftists as well here. There was this guy, Huidu. He's still working in television, I think. But he overtook someone on a low visibility curve and went over a straight line to do it. So the cop stops him, gives him a fine. And the guy was really upset, saying, oh, you only stopped me because I'm a famous person, blah, 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 right? He does it again a couple of months later, and this time he actually kills a family of people. He had the car, which was like an SUV, much more powerful, and he ran into a group of people that had the smaller car. And with the same stuff, exactly the same curve, right? He gets kicked out of television for a while, then comes back. But the idea is like that some of the rules are common sense and they're there for a reason. Like some rules are there for no fucking reason. Some rules are ridiculous. But others, especially when you're talking about the road, you know, just because you manage to do certain things and it doesn't get anyone hurt doesn't mean that you should do it, right? Like the left would call this a victimless crime. And it's like, yeah, but it's a crime, it's a law of prevention. Like, you want to prevent victims from happening. That's why you don't overtake someone in a low visibility curve. Fucking hell, it's not rocket science. The second time he was driving on the other side. I see. That man was not supposed to be driving. But, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, I don't think he went to prison. He was a celebrity. Celebrities don't go to prison. He did get a criminal record. He had his driving license revoked. And I do believe that they gave him suspension. So basically, you don't go to prison. But if you do another crime during the suspension, you go to prison for the first crime and the second that you did. So yeah. I think that he can still drive a car now. Because it's been a long while. Like, I don't know how it's like. Like, if you kill someone with a car, they take away your driving license. But I think, like, if a certain amount of time passes and you take the driving exam again, you may actually be allowed to drive one more time. Yeah, it is similar to the Andrew Tate and the house arrest, yeah. But he wasn't under house arrest, right? So, like, Andrew Tate is under house arrest. No, like, this guy, like, literally got a suspended sentence. House arrest is a little bit lower. I do wonder, like, when Andrew Tate is going to go to court, though. I should look into it. I never heard anyone use this phrase, well. If you kill someone while driving a semi-truck, you go to prison. No, because in Romania we have different laws. Like in America, maybe. But in Romania, and honestly, like, by all means, I think you should have. But in Romania, like, if you don't have a criminal record, and you admit to the crime that you committed, and you have, like, a certain lifestyle which shows to people that, you know, like, you can be reintegrated into the community. Like you're not a danger to society, let's put it like that, right? Then you may not go to prison. So it's not guaranteed, but it does happen. Like, for instance, okay, so a guy that made a car crash, right? if he doesn't have a criminal record, obviously he's not a danger to the public. He's not a danger to society. If you take away his driving license, like, he's never going to drive again. You know, he didn't want to kill that person. And due to that, you can make the argument that, okay, because the idea of prison in Romania is not necessarily as in the United States, as a rehabilitation. No, like, the reason, first of all, we don't have prisons, we have penitentiaries. And the reason we have penitentiaries is to keep the civilized people from the non-civilized separate, right? So, like, if you can't integrate yourself into normal society, if you can't keep your shit together, you're a danger to yourself or others, then it's when you get placed into a penitentiary. Germans didn't X to int on religion? What? Nani? Anyway, right, I'll end it here. We'll upload the videos on my main channel and my secondary channel. Hope you guys like it, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.